Talk 640 WFNC. Right now, it's just about, 17 minutes here before the top of the hour at 8 o'clock. And I've pushed the button here. And Myra Gibbs, do I have you on the line with me right now?
Yeah, I am.
There you are. Myra, it's good to have you on the phone here. You are in a different part of the country, and we appreciate you getting up here to talk with us.
Mm-hmm.
You were here.
Sure.
Were you in town last week for the hearing?
I was, last Thursday.
Yes. For those of you who don't know, Myra Gibbs is the mother of Zion Gibbs. Her son was killed in a drive-by shooting on Danish Drive where they lived here in Fayetteville. It was June 7th, 2024. A stray bullet went through the house, hit your son in the face. He was hospitalized and he passed away 3 days later, is my understanding. The person who was charged with this, Tory Porter, was given no bond. And then there was Sierra Chambers. She was, I think, charged as an associate in the case, accessory after the fact or something along those lines. And both have been in the Cumberland County Detention Center since they were captured. Was it December of last year? But give us a background on how that all played out.
So December 2024. So Sierra Chambers was originally arrested October 31st of 24. And she was charged with accessory after the fact. She posted a $15,000 bond and she was released. Then come December 10th and the 11th, the U.S. Marshals went and apprehended those two, Sierra Chambers and Tory Porter, and charged them with murder in the first degree. And they have been in there ever since with no bond. The first bond hearing that we went to, Sierra Chambers was granted a $650,000 secure bond. And Tory was denied, and then we went to another bond hearing for Tory for a second time. He was denied a second time. And just last Thursday, the judge did not deny bond. He granted him a secure $750,000 bond.
Yeah, and as we're talking, I'm flashing some of the pictures that you sent me of Zion up on the screen, so people that are unfamiliar with this case, who may have moved here and weren't here when this happened, can get a sense of who we're talking about. When you were here and you heard the judge say that we're going to allow bond, what was going through your head?
It was disbelief. It was just disbelief. It was, to me, and I'm just going to be honest with my feelings, it was like a slap in my face, my family's face, and just a disgrace to Zion.
What was
and that's just how I feel.
What was the evidence that was presented that you think made the judge determine that the bond will be granted at this point?
Well, the prosecutor argued that he wasn't a flight risk, nor was he a threat to the community. But Gilbert, let's just be real. This is the same judge that denied his bond the first time. So what changed?
Well, I think
what changed?
I mean, that's the question that everybody's asking. I just had two district court judges in here. We talked about this a little bit. There's one thing to be a granted bond. It's another thing for the individual to actually be able to post the bond and get out.
Right.
So at this point, it's my understanding that they are still incarcerated. But the evidence that was presented, he was going to go live with his grandmom or something. I wasn't in court. You heard the testimony.
Yeah. And see, I want to clear that up too, because a lot of people, I'm seeing the comments on the news articles, and people are getting confused. Like you said, he was granted bond. He has not been released. A lot of people are thinking that he posted bond when he has not. And the stipulations is for him to be on a GPS monitor and living with his grandmother. Those are the stipulations. No contact with us, of course, things of that sort. But those were pretty much the stipulations.
And for those individuals who are unfamiliar with this case, I hate to take you back through this because you and I have done a lot of stories on television about this. We've gone out to the lake out there and places where he enjoyed. Just tell us about your son. I'm going to put some pictures up of him. He wanted to be a fireman.
He did. My baby, 7 years old, just little boy that was energetic and wanted to be a superhero. He had dreams of flying. He was so obsessed with why God didn't allow for humans to fly. He would always ask me that question. He wanted to be a firefighter, which is why every time I make events or do events, you'll see firefighters are involved and the fire department is involved. Zion was a loving kid. He was a helping kid. And this is why I do Zion Legacy of Love, just to keep his spirit going. So it's been a nightmare.
Yeah, and
It's been a nightmare.
you just had the Legacy of Love at Festival Park here in Fayetteville. When was that?
Yeah.
That was during the Dogwood Festival.
Dogwood Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you pop in and out of town. You know, a lot of people who don't know you're a 911 operator, dispatcher.
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing now. You still at that?
Yeah, I am. I'm a 911 dispatcher, and I'm actually traveling with it now. I haven't really told too many people, but I'm traveling. I'm a traveling 911 dispatcher now.
Well, you know, so you get this kind of call, and the call came in. You weren't at work the night that this happened. You were at home with your son, but
I was there with them.
You knew what to do immediately when you discover your son was shot, because you give this kind of advice out to folks over the phone.
Yes,
right. And so just take us back, because this was a random shooting. It's my understanding, as I've reported it on several occasions. They're driving down the street, they're shooting, all of a sudden, bam, a bullet crashes through the house, and what happens?
What happens is we hear, to be 28 to be exact, he shot 28 times. And while hearing that, I ran downstairs, and my twins that are now 20, back then they were 17 at the time, they were okay. They were running around trying to come upstairs. We were all calling for Zion. Zion was laid in the floor in a fetal position, and I thought that my buddy had fell asleep. I think that's when kind of like shock hit me, you know, and I went to try to wake him up, and before this happened, Zion was eating cheese fries, and Gilbert, I told you all the time, I think it was a shock of it all. I thought that my son may have thrown up in his sleep. So I rolled him over, and I was checking him, and he was not waking up. But come to find out, I took my gown, and I wiped his face, and that's when I seen the little wound on his face. I immediately knew what to do. I started chest compressions. The first responders, that's why I tell people I came back to 911 with a little bit more compassion, because time does stop. Time stops when you're in a panic and when you're in an emergency like that. And I was able to see the other side of the phone. But the first responders got there. They worked on my baby, and he had to be, it was raining so hard he could not be airlifted to UNC Children's Hospital. He rode in the back of an ambulance for an hour and a half, and he survived that. But my baby fought for 3 days, and he lost his life, unfortunately, on the 10th of June, 2024.
You know, you do an awful lot of events on behalf of your son. You're not letting his death die in vain, not letting him die in vain. You're keeping his memory alive. I'm going to put up on the screen your back to school, Zion's back to school 2. Talk about that a little bit before time runs out on us.
Yeah, the back to school event, this will be the second annual back to school event. It's going to be located at Cumberland Road, Station 5 Fire Department. The reason why I do that is because I miss going school shopping for him, and I can't anymore. So I want to be able to help children who may need things. Now, last year it was before school started, but this year it's going to be due to me being out of town, September the 5th, in which I'm hoping that people will still come out. Bring your families. I'm going to have bounce houses for the kids, hot dogs, chips, book bags. Last year we did 200 in less than 2 hours. This year I'm hoping to do more, 300. So September the 5th at 12 p.m. at Cumberland Road Fire Station, Fire Department.
Okay, and you and I were talking about this on the phone. It doesn't matter that school's already started. These kids
Right.
need supplies all year long, and so you can still come out and make a donation. And if you don't have supplies, you'll take a monetary donation and turn that into something very good, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Well, Myra, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, and we've become pretty good friends over the course of doing these stories. And as always, I appreciate you trusting me to do your story, and
Yes,
that's
sir.
a special relationship that journalists have with people. I'm not supposed to get emotionally involved, but how can you not get emotionally involved, given the circumstances of this story and all that we've known about Little Spider-Man and the video games and
Yeah.
the pictures that we've seen. And again, I continue to flash pictures of Zion up on there because, as you said, his death is not going to be in vain. And although
No.
bond has been granted, the individuals have not been able to post yet. And I'm sure that
No.
you are bracing yourself if that happens, because that's a whole different
I am.
chapter that you're going to have to deal with emotionally.
Yes. Mhm.
All right, Myra, you take care of yourself, and we'll be in touch, okay?
You too. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're listening to News Talk 640 WFNC. We've got Fayetteville's most dependable forecast with CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
Today we'll have sunny skies and a high temperature of 96. Tonight we'll have clear skies with a low of 73, and Thursday will be sunny and hot with a high of 99, but feeling like 103. Temperatures are going to stay hot and humid through Saturday, and then by Saturday night, scattered rain chances return and continue off and on through next week. That is your Fayetteville forecast. I'm CBS 17 meteorologist Rachel Dunsing.
All right, Rachel, 72 right now. 72 degrees in Fayetteville, Fort Bragg, and Spring Lake. You're listening to News Talk 640 with WFNC.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-896-8155. 800-896-8155. 800-896-8155.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HIM to 215-215 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HIM to 215-215. That's HIM to 215-215.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Paid for by Adaptive Health.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just